Okay.
All right. Okay, so I'll call to order this meeting, the Summit Walla Community Association Board for Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. And first item on the agenda, board meeting minutes from April. Anybody have any suggestions? Do I have a motion that we approve the minutes?
Move,
And who moved?
Dan.
Okay.
I'll
Hey,
second.
Katie.
It was seconded by Don.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we approve the meeting minutes for April. And actually what you can do, maybe this would be real easy, down reactions at the bottom of the screen. There, if you click on reactions, there should be a raise your hand where you can vote to approve. And we all just
Want me to open it online? Give me your
let's see.
information. The top one is the ID and that's the password.
There we go. And Gabe, is there some way that I can bring up on the right-hand side of the screen everybody's images?
I got it. I got it.
You should be able to change it to gallery view versus speaker
I
view.
know.
Let's see.
Up at the top right where it says view.
Ah, okay. Got it, thanks. Okay, so past the meeting minutes for April. Now the report, can't have a treasurer's report because Russell is not going to be here tonight along with Angela. So we'll move down to the webmaster report.
Okay, so the website is pretty much unchanged for the last month other than updates. We have been a little bit busier about adding updates thanks to Larry and a couple other people submitting things to post. And then also Facebook as well. And just a point to that, if anybody is on our Facebook group that wants to post something, by all means, post it yourselves. It'd be great to see other board members' input.
Okay, thank you. So down to current business, Orange Gate Park, volunteer hours. Larry, you put in how many?
17 and a half hours.
Okay. Is that,
And I would have to say that instead of one big bag that I take around, when I go around, I have to take two. So it's taken longer and there's more trash. And we've had some major dumps around Orange Gate of late. Camp trailer up on Vickery Road near Orange Gate, a truck in the ditch loaded with garbage. The usual bags dumped where Pipeline Road crosses 84th Street. And of course, just miscellaneous garbage along 84th and 46th Avenue in particular. So it's busy. And I would have to say that the area south of 84th Street, there's been some work done by Washington Conservation Crew hired by the Pierce County Parks to redo some trails, widen trails. I know Don Massey has been through the park. He has some feelings about the rerouting of some trails. They've closed off some other trails. And so, you know, there's Pierce County Parks people in the park almost every day. I'm not sure whether that's going to continue. Also, been told that the Scotch broom underneath the power lines that has not been taken down supposedly will be taken down next year. I find that unacceptable. So I'm going to give Tiffany Odell a call and talk with her about that because we're concerned about illegal activities within the Scotch Broom this year, this summer. And it needs to be cut down this summer. I don't know if it's Bonneville Power or Tacoma Power that needs to clear their right of way or their easement right of way there. They're usually pretty good about that. I'm wondering whether Pierce County Parks has even contacted Tacoma Power or Bonneville Power to broach that subject of clearing out the Scotch Broom with them. But I'll give Tiffany Odell a call and see what goes on there.
Okay, thank you. So Dawn, the dog park design, you had some thoughts about that.
Yeah, I did. Can you all hear me fine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did. And I did send an email to Tiffany this afternoon, and she did in fact promptly answer the basic questions I had, which is to the problem that I have. They put in print that the construction of phase one will occur in 22-23. Her response said that the design would be finalized in 22-23. And to me, that's a conflict where in fact, what they're proposing for a dog park is just that. Here's a dog park, but we have absolutely no details. She did express some acknowledgement that I was interested in being an integral part of the design, what features were going to be presented or allowed. And, again, it's a budget issue for 2 years away. So who knows what's going to really happen. So right now, my perception of the dog park and their perception of the dog park may be miles apart, and only time will tell what the outcome will be.
Okay. Yeah, I have some questions myself about it because I don't recall on their materials anything about taking that large of a section out of the northern part and making it a dog park. And in the meantime, what are they planning to do south of 84th?
Yeah, kind of tying into what Larry was saying regarding the trail improvements on the south side. I was through there the other day, and I talked to a couple of runners and asked them, what has happened here? And they said they have no idea. So what has become a 2-foot wide footpath is now a 12-foot wide boulevard with a 4-foot wide travel path. And what we were talking about, I think that is probably aiming towards the horse trails, which the concept of the three park proposals of version 1, 2, and 3. Number 2 seemed to be a compromise. Now they're destroying what the aesthetics of the trails were at the present by, the 12-foot wide path with all the brush, just literally pushed to the perimeters. Then Tiffany said that, that their work is complete, that WCC or whatever, Work Conservation Corps, is completed for the time being, and that the logs and such that are left there will be used for future trail development. So if anybody has any question, I'll try to answer them to the best of what I can observe and understand.
Does anybody
just
have any
a-
other questions?
Yeah, just a note here. My wife and I took some of our friends from Sumner on a walk south of 84th, and we had a nice walk. They enjoyed the new trail sections, thought they were pretty nice. So I think there's different viewpoints as to positive or negative concerning the new wider trail that they have put through there. And as far as the dog park is concerned, Don Massey has the expertise. He's seen a lot of different dog parks. That's why I suggested that maybe in the near future that the community association send a design that would be created by Don from our group. A single individual may not quite have as much traction as a community group suggesting an idea. And again, it would only be a suggested design for a park, and what would be inside the dog park. Seems to be a variety of different things that you would find inside a dog park. Some good, some maybe not so good.
So with this dog park and with the parking area and playground, are they looking at basically deforesting that part of Orange Gate?
I
That we
believe that the deforestation would only be involved with the creation of the recreation area, including the pump park, the drive and parking, the picnic ground, and the maintenance facility. I don't believe that there would be any deforestation, as you speak, of any other part of that parcel, 40-acre parcel.
Okay.
That's my personal feeling based on if you go to the latest issue that they presented on what they're proposing for the north 40 acres. The dog park in several locations says the dog park with forested trails. In walking it, and I don't know if you all read the letter email that I forwarded to y'all or not, that asks the question, and I got the answer from Tiffany. But right now, I am not a big proponent of completing the dog park with only the information initially presented, and that is a forested area with trails. That is not what the generally accepted expectation of a dog park is. A play area is an integral part of all dog parks, including what background information on a dog park design is from the American Kennel Club. A part of a dog's enjoyment is a social environment with other dogs, and that North 40, if you walk it, and I don't know how many of you have ever walked it, and it shows an open area. Well, you cannot walk through that open area. 90% of what they have fenced in for a dog park is impenetrable underbrush with logs, blackberries, vines, and anything else that you can think of. You cannot walk anywhere other than on an existing dog path or a foot trail. You can't, there's no play area that you couldn't throw a frisbee, you couldn't play fetch with the dog. I would not take the time to take Pearl in there other than to, just out of curiosity. She has more enjoyment when she can be outside on the pipeline trail, on the power line trails, going around where she can see. If I turn my dog loose in that area right now, if it was fenced as designed, it would take me 2 hours to find her unless I had a tracking device on her collar. She is a hunter. Most dogs are. I'll give you an example. The Lakewood Dog Park in Stellicum, 22 acres. It has got many acres of open play area. It's got a lot of blackberries, and let me tell you this, the fire department has been called multiple times to rescue small dogs that go in on a rabbit trail and get trapped and the owner can't find them. When I was there, and I used to go there a lot, I put a high quality bell on her collar so I could at least hear where she is when I can find her. But that is a dog, and you get people with beagles, and unless you're a dog owner and appreciate and understand how they think and what kind of an entertainment process they go through, you know, 5 or 10 acres that they have designated with a fence around it is, not a dog park.
Okay, thank you.
And thus the reason why we need to have a design for a dog park submitted by the community association, and Don's the one that can do that.
Well,
I would propose-
Larry, I don't want to put something out that they don't want to accept. If they're going to allow me to be a part of it and have an input, I think that's, to me, that is the best, the politest approach to it. We're not in a position to tell the park board. We can suggest, but as far as laying out here as a design, I don't think that's the way to go. Now, I accept your feedback on my statement.
Well, I'd
I
agree
think it
with
might
Don because they do have people who are supposed to be professionals at designing the park. And so that's where the onus is going to be. And certainly if Don provides good feedback to them, maybe provide some direction to resources that they aren't familiar with, that's probably going to be more effective than just walking in and saying, here's what you should do.
I agree with you. And I've done some research for Puyallup's park designer. He's a consultant out of someplace up north. I got it in the archive, but he's asked me to look at several locations to critique the potential of off-leash dog parks for the city of Puyallup, which I have done.
Okay.
So there's no further discussion necessary on this park, on the dog park at this time. My position is to wait until Tiffany comes out with some more concrete ideas or requests for information on what should be included.
All right. Well, along with that, we do have the Park Advisory Board meeting coming up May 18th. There is a link in the agenda to documents about it.
I'll be there.
Yeah, let's see that. If I make it, well, obviously we can make it remotely now. I'm going to be out of town that day, but I'll try to make it myself because as Angela did mention in her email response, Tiffany would like some presence from the Summit Waller organization, because I believe as a group, we're more supportive of development of a park as opposed to, there are some people in the general area who just want it left the way it is right now so that they can use it the way they've been using it as opposed to a proper park. So I imagine they're looking for a little support.
Yeah.
That's it.
The north area, there are very few people that walk dogs through there. And I would say 50% of them have their dog off leash now. The more open areas are north or south of 84th. So that's my only comment on usage at the
Mhm.
present time.
Okay, any other comments about Orange Gate? Okay, so, I'm sorry, what?
I could use some help with picking up litter along 84th Street.
Okay, what time
3
do
hours.
you usually go out? Or are you looking for
Uh, it-
somebody to just show up?
Yeah,
slip
somebody
over
on,
here?
on their, on your own going over there and whatever. If you want to text me or email me a time that you want to go over there, then I can schedule my trip around the big block at a different time.
Okay.
I don't have a set schedule that I go. I just go sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon. I usually wait 2 or 3 days in between each circuit, and I do 50th from 80th to 84th, 84th from 50th all the way up to Rainier Vista Apartments, and also 46th Avenue to 80th and 80th back to 50th. And that usually takes me a couple hours to do that.
Okay.
But lately it's been 3 hours, and that's just too much.
I've got one comment. I appreciate and understand your willingness to do that cleanup. If you go back to the Scotch broom underneath the power lines, I think you might have a little bit more effective leverage if you referred to it as health and safety concerns, along with fire concerns.
Yeah, the Scotch broom has a lot of oil in it, so it would be nasty if we got on fire.
Yeah.
Quick question. Are there any particular areas of the park that seem to be worse than others more often on?
Yeah, good question, Gabe. That would be 84th Street from 50th to 46th, and maybe 46th up to Pipeline, where Pipeline crosses 84th.
Okay, thanks. I can try posting something on Facebook saying, "Hey, grab a bag and go pick up some trash if you have the time," on Facebook. That's the reason why you should join
great.
Facebook, Larry. Encourage the help.
Hey, Larry, is that 3 hours per week?
No, that's 3 hours each time I go out,
How often do you go out?
about every 3 days. I mean, yeah, it adds up to about over 17 hours this last month. But I have found that when I tell my wife I'll be gone between an hour and a half, that's usually inaccurate. I'm usually gone 2 hours, 2.5 hours. One time last week it was 3.5 hours. I was dog ass tired by the time I got home.
Okay.
And I'm finding lots of recyclables too. And it's not what's right along the shoulder of the road. You got to look in back of the ecology blocks, because that's where people are dumping them, a lot of stuff now.
Mhm. All right, moving on to related issue, Pipeline Trail. the Washington Wilderness Recreation Program did get funding in the legislature this year to the tune of, I think it was around $100 million, if I recall correctly. There were some organizations that were pushing for significantly more, but as best I can tell, funding for continuing work on the pipeline trail shouldn't be in jeopardy this year, this coming couple of years. Oh, and he just stepped out of the room. Dan's going to give us a quick update on Canyon Rim Estates.
Okay, well, I previously sent you folks via email our brief, supplemental brief and our survey rebuttal brief, as well as recently our request for reconsideration. Read that, you'll know everything about it. This is a public forum. I don't want to discuss strategy where who knows who could be watching. So read the request for reconsideration. The hearing examiner has authority to make the proposal consistent and conformative with the real separator. I just don't think he wants to. That's reviewable by court, of course. I will point out that the examiner is retiring this year, so he won't be here next year. But read the request for reconsideration. That will tell you everything you need to know. I'll be sending additional emails out to further enlighten you on that subject.
Okay, thank you, Dan. And now the annual newsletter, our report to our community. I'll say I really liked the work that Gabe and Jen did. Turned out quite nice. There's no wasted space. It's all used up quite well. It's efficient. Anybody else have any comments on it, the process or the end product that they saw?
You've got to thank Gabe and Jen a lot for doing the good work. That was tremendous.
That was mostly Jen.
He's being modest. He's got the supercomputer that spots all the little things I don't see.
Good product.
It
So,
did seem to go well this year. Larry, do you
So
have
did the
something to
company-
add?
Did the company mail out the newsletters?
No, they received the final proof on Monday afternoon, and I haven't heard back from them today. And I will call tomorrow if they don't send something by tomorrow.
How many copies are we having printed?
Ooh, what was our mailing list plus 150?
Was 150, okay.
And we'll need to find out from you, Larry, where you've gone in the past to drop them. And we've got a few other little ideas, but trying to think about what would be most effective as far as distributing them to where people will actually pick them up and read them, along with just dropping them off at businesses for the business owners to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very time consuming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can certainly get some help from us on that one.
Right. Well, it is a great way to connect with the community, Larry. You've been modeling that for years. And when you gave them to us to pass out, I found that out for myself.
Yep. Okay, anything else on?
Anything your wild child does. Pampers Cruisers 360.
Back to you.
Okay. Do we want to discuss any more of the annual meeting right now, or do we have any more information? It kind of looks like things aren't really going the right way right now in the state.
Well, last year we did nothing. We had no meeting, correct?
Yes.
And is there a procedure to do a Zoom meeting?
Gabe, what's
That
the
was something-
capacity for your for your license?
I believe it's up to 100 attendees.
Okay. So that should accommodate at least the number that we've had in the past showing up if we wanted to do that.
I don't have the license that allows for breakout rooms if we needed to do that. So it's
Yeah.
just a straight one big room.
The one tough thing is that we do have a, let's say, an older crowd. And so for some people, it might be a little more difficult, but it's certainly something that we could look at.
I think a lot of seniors have done a lot of FaceTime and Zoom meetings in the last year. So we might be surprised at the number of older people or senior citizens that would maybe be willing to attend a general membership community Zoom meeting. I guess it would be kind of the challenge would be how to advertise for that meeting. I guess it would have to be on our website and also our Facebook page, basically.
Well, I would think that if you put in, give them enough of advance notice and a sign up first come first serve, that's where you're going to get your break point.
Yeah, there's a few other community groups that we can do in Facebook and also next door.
Mm-hmm.
Question, is it possible to combine our monthly meeting as a yearly annual meeting and just do 2 for 1?
Yeah. I don't know why you couldn't. I thought that's what it was in the past.
Because I don't think you're gonna
Yeah.
have enough speakers wanting to come to the meeting and make a presentation necessarily.
Yeah, that was going to be my suggestion is if we have a Zoom meeting, are we going to invite people to speak at this Zoom meeting about certain topics like, let's say, Orange Gate or Marty Campbell would say something, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty much the same sort of agenda as what we've had in the past, something very similar, only just over Zoom.
I don't know how long that they used to present for in the past, but people will get screen fatigue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you might want to chop them down, at least at the duration of them. If not, actually multiple shorter ones would be better than 1 or 2 longer ones.
Yeah, I was thinking if we did something like that, an hour at most.
I got a general question. When this whole pandemic goes away, are we gonna start having our meetings back at the community center?
We don't have to.
But certainly the annual meeting would be there, right?
Probably, well, we would have it in person, whether it's there or if we felt a need to go somewhere else. I don't know what we do, but it could certainly still be there.
In talking with Don and Bunny, we can have our monthly meetings anytime we want at the community center. We still have a key for it, or I have a key for it. We just would have to disinfect everything before we leave, wipe down everything. But we're welcome to continue to have our monthly and our annual meetings at the community center.
I
I
think
guess another question might be, go ahead, Dan.
I think it's too early to make a decision on that. We don't know where we're going. I think these Zoom meetings are really excellent for our monthly meetings. But I think ultimately we would like to get back in the annual meetings in person. That's my thought.
Mm-hmm.
Are you suggesting, Dan, that in the future we stick to only Zoom meetings for monthly
Well, you know,
meetings?
I think everybody's doing Zoom. I think teachers want to do all the remote teaching these days. I think Zoom meetings are here to stay. I think it's a cultural shift.
You could very well be right there.
Mhm.
But the annual meeting, I think, should be in person when the time is right.
Yeah, and as far as, I mean, for right now, we just don't know. You think back to the pandemic right after World War I, and it went on for not quite 3 years. So, you know, it's hard to say with what we see going on right now.
True.
So would you be, so you're saying you'd rather not have a general membership meeting over Zoom and just wait until we can do it in person, or what are you suggesting?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Okay, it's May, and I would say we just table it until June to see what's going on. And I don't think we're prepared to do a June Zoom annual meeting. I don't see it happening. I don't think people expect it to happen right now. I think it would be kind of odd if we tried to have one right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more appropriate that we just do our monthly meetings, do our business, send out our newsletter, and people don't expect us to have an annual meeting. Don Brunson hasn't had any of his meetings for what, a year?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say we just table it for a while until the time is appropriate. That's my personal thought.
Okay. And as far as our monthly meetings, I mean, I'm certainly in favor of just doing them by Zoom. I know it's a little more convenient than having to drive down to the community center.
Well, you know something? Gabe, tell us, how many people were watching our Zoom meetings recently? Was it 30 some people?
Oh, I don't think even near that number for all the meetings last year combined. I have to go look at the numbers. There's not a ton of people watching.
Okay. Well, it's easier for them to show up by Zoom than to drive down the street.
Yeah, and they can also watch after the fact too, which is
True.
on their own time.
Correct.
And it does offer people an opportunity to, if they really want to participate, even if they aren't able to physically be present at the Mid-County Center. Okay, so I guess we will keep waiting to see how things develop as far as trying to host an annual meeting. Last item of current business, the consistent use of logos and imaging. Gabe, I like what you did with the header for our stationery. Any other comments, anything that you think still needs to be done?
I like
Well,
it.
I did have some comments at the top header is a little on the large side, and I actually do agree with that comment. If I shrink it down, because as you can see on this agenda, if I shrink it down any further, it just becomes more. And because I'd like to split apart the logo, otherwise it just shrinks it closer together without taking up that upper space. So I can split that up myself. I'm worried about working with the one image because they're linked for alignment reasons.
Okay.
But if I can shrink them down without making it look too skewed, I'd like to do that too. And so that's why I named it template 1 specifically, so I can get more input. And I fully anticipate a 2 or a 3 version until we get it just the way we want it. So by all means, if we have any other tweaks that you guys want to do or see, I'm happy to make them.
Is there a way to make a smaller version? I think maybe you already said that, but on page 2 of any document that we had a subversion that just had, just something smaller.
Yes, the letterhead template actually will create a second header for every subsequent page after the first. So you only get the large banner at the first page. I can probably do one that has the small one for every page as well, if somebody wants to use it as well. But you have to create a second page to be able to see how that changes. So if you open it up, it's just the letterhead though. That's the only one that does that.
Thanks for
I'll
your.
have to take- I'll have to take a look at that. I'm kind of used to seeing more of a footer on subsequent pages after the first one.
Yeah, we can switch to that too. We can try a few different ideas. I'm happy to just tweak them however you guys need, and then we decide what we want.
Okay, thank you. Okay, new business, the county litter campaign proposal. Larry.
Well, since I've been picking up a lot of litter and running across a lot of people that are a bit upset with how much litter they're seeing in our communities, and I think it's all over the county. I talked with one county crew that was picking up some of the bags I'd put by the side of the road. They were saying on Mondays they were picking up around 6 to 7 tons of illegally dumped roadside garbage. That's just on Mondays. So, I was thinking maybe it's time that the Summit Water Community Association, through either emails or letters or both, to each of our county council people, recommending that the county council consider a new campaign to urge people to keep Pierce County litter free, with the possibility of newspaper ads or television ads or signage along roads or billboards, whatever. Come up with a snappy campaign, some snappy campaign slogans, and perhaps try and raise the level of pride in our county. I think we're going through a time period where people are kind of losing pride in themselves, pride in our county, pride in our state, pride in our country, and maybe it's time to address that with some campaigns that would raise the level of people's pride in their community, in their county. So that's why I'm proposing that from our community association that we urge the Pierce County Council to launch a countywide anti-litter campaign.
So then are you looking at maybe a letter to our county representative and the county council chair, or how do you envision?
I envision a letter coming from our board, probably through with your signature on it, that would go to, let's say, Pierce County Executive and all 7 members of the Pierce County Council.
Okay. That's something we could work on. Any comments on this, suggestions?
I got a comment. I don't disagree with Larry, but litter right now is a symptom of society and where it's at right now. And you're not going to correct the problem by going after the symptom. You got to cure the problem. And I think when this pandemic goes away, the economy improves, people are not feeling so, how they're feeling right now. I think you're going to have just less of that acting out. I think littering is a form of acting out for some people. Also, they maybe want to save a buck and not take it to the dump. They're just lazy. Maybe they're just demonstrating and throwing stuff around because they're angry. I don't know. But having the council, address the symptom is not going to cure the cause. I don't disagree with what Larry is saying. It's perhaps a good idea, but I think what we need to do is see if we can get the Pierce County inmates, assuming there's still inmates in jail right now, I don't know, get them out here to clean up at least the main thoroughfares like Waller Road once a year. We've discussed that. Is that something that we could do? Question.
I would say that this lack of pride in littering was present before the COVID-19 pandemic even arrived on the scene. I'm not so sure that it's just addressing the symptoms. I think it's something that that the Pierce County Council should debate.
Yeah, I support your effort, Larry. I mean, I think let the county council talk about it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, for the last year and a half, I've seen a lot more garbage up and down the roads. Pioneer Way, Waller Road, 64th.
Well, we have more homeless people out there, and they don't always want to dump their garbage at let's say, a grocery store or these convenient garbage receptacles that you see at various businesses. And yeah, various places where you can actually legally dump your small portions of garbage. But people who smoke, people who go to fast food establishments, people who drink alcohol, those are basically the three main.
Yeah.
And people who are getting, let's say, foreclosed on their apartment or house, or they've got some sort of court order that they got to clean up their property. Well, they're just using the side of the road as a convenient way to get rid of unwanted items. That's why you see like a pickup truck that's been abandoned with the whole bed and the inside of the cab is all full of garbage, or recently a tent trailer that the whole inside of it was full of garbage. I mean, people are using various areas like, well, since we're a rural separator, there's lots of areas that are rather remote in a way, and easy to dump things there in the middle of the night, which is when most of the large dumps happen, is in the middle of the night.
Yeah. I would like to add this. Pioneer Way between Waller Road and River Road, that stretch of Pioneer Way, much of that is within the city of Tacoma. 64th Street from near Waller Road School towards Portland Avenue is in the city of Tacoma. I would urge everybody here to call 311. And that will get you connected to the City of Tacoma Resource Center, I believe it is. Not 911, but 311. And just tell them,
Right.
And just tell them to clean up Pioneer Way, clean up 64th Street. That'll take care of a portion of the problem. The rest of it's in the county.
Yeah, those two areas that you just mentioned, Dan, are consistent areas that get cleaned up, and then within a week or two, they're back to being in bad shape again, especially on the Tacoma side from Swan Creek to Pipeline Road.
Right.
On the north side, that's bad. And then, of course, from Waller Road to River Road on Pioneer, especially once you get in the city limits of Tacoma, on the side that on the east side of the street that dips down to where the railroad tracks are, that's a bad spot too, and it just gets littered within just a short period of time after it's been cleaned up. But yeah, calling 311 every couple of months is what we're going to have to do.
That's it. You got it. Once a month, once every 2 months, sure. And I'm thinking, get the correction people out here, the people that are serving misdemeanor jail terms, assuming they're still in jail these days. I don't know. Maybe
So, yeah, for Pierce County, that's District Court number 1 has those people can do community service rather than serve jail time, and so they.
Have you ever tried to get them on Waller Road before? Have we ever done that?
I think District Court number 1 has every week or so, they have spots that they're going out to. Now, how they get a list of spots, I don't know, Dan.
John, do you know anything about that?
I think I'm not sure exactly what you're asking me.
Well, District Court number 1 has a van.
Oh, okay, no, you're right. Okay, now I see what you're saying. No, I have no information about that. They don't communicate with Adopt a Road at all as far as ecology, youth, or anything like that. That's completely different.
I think we need to look into that. Some kind of a other way to clean our roads other than having our own citizens go out and clean up the mess that these transit drivers leave in our community.
One thing I was gonna wonder about is it really our place to ask the county for countywide, TV ads, newspaper ads for litter when we're really a community-based organization about, what's good for right here along Waller Road and Canyon Road and all that, our area? Are we really, asking them to invest a lot of dollars? I mean, this is, you're talking about a pretty wide span, you know, are we really, overstepping what we're really about? I don't know. I mean, it's a great effort, but they're going to be looking at, a lot bigger issues, and are we really going to have any impact on what their discussions are of where money is spent?
Well, the county, I think even the state, and they have these private or these cleanup crews that go out. And I'm just thinking if we could have them go up and down Waller Road once a year, that would be helpful. And then our organization could perhaps do the side streets like 72nd, 84th, 80th, and focus on the internal part of our community and maybe get the county cleanup crews to do Waller Road. I'm just putting that out there for thought.
Well, part of the problem is that they have suspended the Adopt-A Roads for over a year now. And of course, that's going to add to the accumulation of litter along streets that have been adopted by certain groups. Not to say that those groups can go out on their own and deal with the garbage they pick up on their own. I've seen people doing that. But I think it's perfectly all right for a community group to suggest that there be a countywide campaign to raise people's awareness on keeping, the beauty and pride in our county.
Larry, would you be willing to write a letter to the council for signature by Bob?
I sure would.
Well, I move that you do so.
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we write a letter proposing this to the county council and county executive. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Oops. Okay, seeing none, measure passes. Okay, Larry, can work on a letter. I'll also do some checking with the county council staff to see, just how possible this might be. My one concern is that, it would be pretty much any area's budget for this.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Larry, I'll need your help kind of to reword the motion, because that was pretty quick and dirty.
Yeah, my motion was that we authorized Larry Volan to write a letter to the county regarding the cleanup issue for Bob's signature. Is that better?
That would be to encourage the county to embark on a anti-litter countywide anti-litter campaign.
Got it.
All right. So, anybody have anything else of import for the group?
Final comment. our community organization's record before the Growth Management Hearing Board on appeals regarding the real separator so far over the last decades is 3 wins and 1 loss. And that's not too bad. We recently dismissed that one appeal on 121st Street because that would have raised our, in my estimation, our losses from 1 to 2. So we're at 3 wins, 1 loss now. Not that I'm keeping track, but that particular area on 121st Street is not in our Summit Waller area. In fact, it was not located within the real separator. It was adjacent to the real separator in the urban corridor along 112th Street, which extends up to 121st Street. And it's a lost cause because the county council approved it, the old county council approved it, and immediately Ryan Company embarked on moving their concrete crushing operation to that property, which was already a grandfathered sawmill operation. And so even if we won, I think we would lose. So we cut bait on that one, and that's where that one's at. On this Canyon Rim Estates, that story is altogether different. If you read the briefs, and particularly the request for reconsideration, the examiner has the authority, in my opinion, and other people I've talked to actually have that proposal comply with the real separator policies. And he just didn't want to do it. Well, okay, we'll see what happens. That's all I have to say on that for now. Thank you.
I have to thank you, Dan, for writing those. Those are, I love the legal briefs. I love them.
Well, yeah, a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. Thank you, Dan.
Okay.
Okay, the only last thing I have to say is may the 4th be with you all.
Yes.
Hey, am I still on audio? Because I lost my video.
Yeah, we can see that
we
here, you,
can-
Don.
Oh, okay. Just one thing on the Canyon Road expansion. Just the other day, I was talking to one of the county engineers, and the final overlay, it should be done, and the project, as we see it, should be wrapped up by the end of next week.
Thank you.
Well,
We'll see if it goes that way, but that's what the guy told me.
interesting. And I hope to see some compression braking signs out on Canyon as well, because I heard the first one at 5:30 this morning, and there were several more up until about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, they've been a little bit less frequent, but you're right. They'll still come through whenever they want.
So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll
I
move.
So
move.
move.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded. We adjourn. All in favor?
I
Motion passes. Nice seeing you. See you all next month.
Good night.
Good night.